Okay, so I'm back again. Welcome back. So the last video that I just posted, I started rambling and went off into a complete different subject, and that took that video up to like 30 minutes, which is ridiculous. So I went through, I edited it, and I cut out this other subject that I want to talk about. Okay, so that's what this video is for. First and foremost, I am back on track. I do not want to jinx that, and I have a couple of notes to keep me going because, you know, you don't want to forget what you were saying, especially if you thought it was good. So, I'm back on track. I don't want to jinx it. Let's just, please, Jesus, let me stay on track. Jesus, please. But anyway, so I got up this morning around 4 a.m. For other reasons. Oh, okay. So I got up around 4 a.m. this morning. When my husband finally left around 6:30-ish for work, I went ahead and got up and did my exercises. Got on my exercise bike, did that, and I did my meditation because I have not been meditating. I feel like me meditating and doing everything on my fabulous checklist is what keeps me on the right track. When I don't do all of those things, when there is something that is missing from the equation, that's when I feel like I start just going off the deep end. So exercising, meditating, the things on my fabulous checklist, like making sure I get everything done that I need to get done, writing in my journal. If any of those elements are missing, I will not stay on track. And I really feel like exercising is what keeps me focused, because when you exercise, you're in the right mind space and you feel like, well, I exercise, I'm not gonna, you know, mess that up by eating cookies or eating whatever the case is. So I went ahead and exercised this morning. Normally, before I got off of track when we went on our vacation, I would exercise during quiet time. Quiet time is a necessity. I feel like it should be a necessity for every mom, but definitely a homeschool parent that has their children 24/7. You need that time where your children are away from you and you are away from them. Especially now that we're, you know, going through this pandemic and, you know, your kids can't go anywhere, like with another relative or anything like that, even though, you know, I never sent my kids to anybody anyway, but that's a different subject. But anyway, so they do not have to go to sleep during quiet time, and that was a really big fuss when we were having sleep time. You know, when it was time for your nap time, it was always a fight. It was always a fuss. Well, I don't want to go to sleep. I don't want to go to sleep. Okay, well, this is quiet time, and that has been working out so well. We've been doing quiet time for like the past year, and it's been working out really well because no, you do not have to take a nap, but you do have to go to your room for at least an hour. If you go to sleep, I'll let them sleep for 2 hours. But if you know, they might have woken up late that morning and they're just not sleepy. We normally do it at 2 o'clock and they're just not tired. That's fine. You do not have to go to sleep, but you have to go to your room and you have to be quiet. I am in the middle of working on quiet time baskets so they can have something constructive to do while they're there if they do not want to go to sleep, something that is quiet activities. So, but yes, I feel like that is essential because we need a time to unwind, and you know, it's not always going to be at nighttime. They're tired, they go to sleep, you're ready to go to sleep too. So that's what used to happen during quiet time. I would exercise. Now that I'm trying to plan for a new school year that's coming up in the next couple of weeks, about two weeks. Yeah, the next 2 weeks, I guess. I have to use that quiet time to plan because it's the time where they're not making any noise. They're quiet, and majority of the time they go to sleep. And I can concentrate and do what I need to do. So I don't have that block of time anymore to exercise. So I feel like me getting up in the morning, I normally get up at 6 a.m. anyway. Me getting up in the morning, doing that, and go ahead and getting my exercise and my meditation out of the way, that sets the tone for my day. I've already exercised, so I know, hey, you've already exercised today. Don't mess it up by, hey, you know, eating those cookies, or well, I'm not really a sweets eater, but I just feel like that'll keep me on track for the day. It's been working today, so I don't know. We'll see. But so that's number one. Number two, I haven't even been drinking my water. You know, I always used to think that those water reminder apps were senseless, but now that I am trying to drink a certain amount of water a day, and everyone that is on a weight loss journey knows that water is a key staple, I just feel like I'm so hunched over. I need to sit up straight. Maybe this is why I have such back pain. That, as well as, you know, my chest is so huge. But I have very terrible posture. So I'm going to sit this way. It hurts to sit like this because I guess I've been hunched over for so long. But so many years, not just today. So yeah, I am going to download a water. It's hard to sit like that. I'm going to download a water reminder app to remind me to drink water, because even when you know you're trying to do things and you're in the midst of so many things that are on your plate, you honestly forget to drink any water. And before you know it, it's 4 o'clock. You've only had 1 bottle of water and you're like, I'm starving, I'm hungry, and then you want to eat anything because you're dehydrated and you don't have enough fluids in you. So I'm going to do that. That's number one. Secondly, how the last video transitioned into this video, and this is 6:30. I'm probably going to cut some of this down. How that video transitioned into making this video is because I was talking about our plans. It started with us trekking for homeschooling. Then I started talking about us wanting to own our own home, and that just led to this video. So I wanted to make a video specifically about these things. So the last video, I talked about how I'm planning and how we're tracking all of our assignments. So that led to, you know, me living in Alabama, where there are no homeschool laws that you have to submit any type of documentation. We do eventually want to own a home, and I do not feel like that home will be in Alabama. It will be in another state. I no longer want to live in Alabama. So with us taking the steps to become homeowners, me documenting and keeping track of documentation when we do move to wherever we decide to make our forever home, it won't be a big transition for me to, you know, submit documentation, because I'm already keeping track of it now, whatever we decide to. It might be another state that does not have homeschooling, you know, regulation. I don't know, but just for that. So anyway, so yes, our ultimate goal is to own a home. I was speaking with a coworker, and we were talking, and he was just telling me, you know, how it was when him and his wife started out, and, you know, they lived in an apartment, and they have this, you know, big, beautiful home now, and, you know, you guys are young, and your girls are young, and you have all the time in the world. And us, well, I'm not going to say us, me, and I know I'm not the only one that feels this way, but just for the sake of this video, I'll say me. I always feel like I'm behind. Like, you know, I should be further. We should be in a different phase of life, and then it takes someone that is older to let you know, like, hey, you're on track. You don't ever compare yourself to someone else's journey. And I know that's true. I was at a meeting at work, and one of the ladies that was there, she was saying that, you know, she's in school and she just feels like, you know, she's so behind. I was like, why do you feel like that? Knowing that I feel that way too. And she was like, well, you know, I'm still in school and I'm 24. And I'm like, girl, add 10 more years, because I'm 34 and we're still trying to get it together. So everyone feels like they are behind, because it's like there's a standard that is set by society, and you feel like you have to reach that standard at a certain time. So we're 34. My goal is within the next 5 years that we will be able to own our own home. I want my children to have, you know, a home to grow up in, to have a yard to play in. Owning a home, I'm going to be honest, it was never a goal of mine. And I feel like I was scared to own a home, because with all of the expenses that come with that, you know, if something breaks or if you need repairs, that comes out of the homeowner's pocket. And I just felt like, you know, man, we're never going to have enough money to own a home. If something breaks, how are we going to fix it? And so we're talking to my coworker, and he was telling me, you know, that you have to make saving a priority, and saving has not been a priority. I don't feel like saving is a priority for a lot of people. In the past, you know, you try to save, and then something comes up, an extra unexpected expense, and there's the savings, and then you get discouraged and you just don't do it anymore. That on top of just wanting things that we do not need, things that buying things that are unnecessary. I was very big on just buying my children's clothes. I cannot tell you the amount, the bags and bags and bags of clothing that I have given away that still have tags on them because I was buying so much that they never got a chance to wear those, and it was ridiculous. And I feel so bad looking back on that, thinking that I had to try to keep up with the standard that should not have even been there in the first place. Like, it's crazy. But anyway, so the main thing that he told me that I took away from that conversation was, number one, you're young. Even though we feel like we're old, you're still young. You still have time. Make saving a priority. Once you make saving a priority, because I know with us owning a home, we have to save. Once you make saving a priority, you'll be surprised with how much money you can save. When you start looking at what you're spending money on, what you're spending money on, So once you get a hold of and actually realize what you're spending money on, whether it's a need, whether it's a want, if it's something that you have to have versus something that you want to have. And sometimes there are things that we need, but we also want. And I'll give you an example of that in a second. Something that, you know, for example, like homeschool things. You know, maybe we don't need all of the homeschool things that we buy, but we get them because we feel like we need them for homeschool, but they're really a want. You can use them, you know, it's not something that is just going to go to waste, but you don't necessarily need them, but you'll use them. So we have things like that as well. So I've made saving a priority. This is July. I started making saving a priority this month, okay? This month for July, and we still have one more check. My husband has 2 jobs. I have a part-time job. And we still have one more check to go that my husband will get paid. Just this month, since I have made saving a priority in our home, because that's what it's going to take to reach our goal, we have saved over $700. My mind is blown because I'm thinking, like, you know, before it's like we were always, you know, where's all the money going? We never see the money. We're buying things, you know, you feel like you're paying your bills. You don't feel like you're getting things that are unnecessary, but you don't have any money left over. Since I have started looking at what we're spending money on, and there hasn't even been this entire month because we went on vacation this month as well. And so that was a lot of the unnecessary expense. Well, I'm not going to say unnecessary because I do feel like it's necessary, you know, to take time away. And it was something that we had already planned. But anyway, when you make saving a priority, it can be done. And I'm thinking, like, where did this $700 come from? Because last month I didn't see the $700. Now you have money because we made it a priority. When my husband gets paid, when I get paid, which is a very small amount because, like I said, I'm only working part-time, and that's just to help out for us to reach our goal. My husband does not, he wants me to be a stay-at-home wife and mom. That has always been something that, you know, he's just expressed that it does not matter if you work. If you want to work, you can, but, you know, if you want to stay home with the kids, you can do that as well. But I felt like for us to reach our goal quicker, that it would be imperative that I get a part-time job. It's only a few days a week, a few nights a week, and I just feel like that'll help us get towards our goal. So just within this month of July, we've saved over $700. I'm not saying that we'll be able to do that every month because you never know what comes up, but when paychecks come in, 25% goes towards savings. I don't care how much the check is. I don't care what bill has to be paid. I mean, I do care what bill has to be paid, but 25% comes out off the top. That is money that we do not have. That's that's money that I pretend that it's not there because it's something that we are putting aside for our future, for our children's future. So 25%. And I'm not saying every month we'll be able to do 25%. One month it might be 15%, depending on how the bills fall and what new expenses come up. But there will be a percentage of every check that goes into our savings account. You have to do that. So the first thing that I use to keep us on track is this. And I just put sticky notes because it has personal information up here. Our income amounts, and so that's our business. It's our business, like my girl Tabitha said. That's your business, baby. This is my business. This is my business. So I talked about a website that I use to get printables. This is one of the printables. I'll show you the back sheet because it doesn't have, and they're the same. It doesn't have our personal information at the top. It looks like this, right? And this is how I use it. So, of course, on the front right here, you put your financial goals. You put your gross monthly income. I do not do gross monthly income. I do our net, number one, because my husband does have a 401k. And so, you know, you can't count that money because that's not money that you have. So we do our net monthly income. I put all of the income that is coming in, each check, and the amount that it is here. At the beginning of the month, you can just put your goals or whatever, you know, whatever. I'm gonna, this month, because I wasn't sure how this would go, our monthly financial goal, I put it to be savings goal, I put it to be $300 because I wasn't sure, you know, if we would be able to save more than that. I wasn't sure how it would go, but like I said, we've already saved over $700. So check that goal off the list. But so this is what it is. The front, I use 2 sheets because the front page, I put all of our bills that we have to pay. Rent, water, lights, car note, renter's insurance, cable, well, internet, because we don't have cable. Internet, well, both of our car notes and car insurances there. The next page, or in our credit card things, I didn't put those on the front because we do have credit card bills. And he also told me a way to help to try to pay down credit cards because it seems like you pay on them and you pay on them and they just, the balance never moves. So that also has to be a priority, making an extra payment on that credit card bill. Not an extra payment, an extra $50 separate from what you're doing. Like when you pay your credit card bill, you pay the amount that's due. The next 2 weeks, you put another amount on there. Ideally, it would be for the amount that you pay normally, like just double that in another 2 weeks. But, you know, however you can do it, however your money flows. So the next sheet is things that, and this is why I put the credit card bills here, because even though we have to pay those, it's an expense that is unnecessary because it's something that we made, not something that we need to live on. So the second sheet are just things that we have to pay, but we don't have to have. So all of our subscription services, and there are a lot of them, and I'm going to work on cutting those down. We have Hulu, Weight Watchers, Lane Bryant, Comedy Central, Toonscape, our cell phone bills, because that's a very high expense that it could be cheaper if we were to go to a, you know, prepaid or something like that. So I just put that back here too, because that's just something to look into. Walmart delivery, Disney, Stars, our car not our car payment, our credit card for car repairs. Microsoft, that probably should be on the front because I need Microsoft for homeschooling. So yeah, all of those things. Kindle, Amazon free time. I didn't even know we were paying for Amazon free time for the kids' tablets, but that's another subject. So yeah, all of our bills go here. I put what I think they're going to be, which most of them are, they're just whatever they are, that's what they're going to be. The only thing that might change is the water and lights. Everything else is pretty much a set bill. So you put expected, actual, the date is due, and you check off if you've paid it. That's one thing that I use. This is what I used to use, and I still kind of use it now. I put all of our bills on the side. Across the top, I put the month, and when it's paid, I just hit check. I just check it. This is what I use, and I scribbled on it. I blocked it out because this has our pay information at the top of this as well. I just made this a table in Microsoft just a table I made. I put our paychecks across the top, the days and how much it is. And then I'll put what bill has to be paid on what check. Whatever bill it, and once we pay it, I'll highlight it off. That lets me know what bills have to be paid and on what check it has to fall on. The final thing that I have begun using just from July the 19th is an expense tracker. Every cent that we spend will be put on this expense tracker. I don't care if it's 5 cents for a piece of gum. Whatever it is will go on this expense tracker. You put what it is. You put the amount it was, whether you paid with cash, whether you paid with credit, if it was a need, and if it was a want. We still have a few wants over here. Like I said, I just started this on July the 19th. Prior to the 19th, I have the information to put on this chart, but it was so many wants, and I should have put it, but I was just embarrassed for myself because obviously no one else is going to see this. You guys see it now, and I wasn't even intending to make this as a video, but I was so embarrassed about the amount of needs wants that I had on here. It was crazy, the amount that we were spending on eating out, fast food, which is also a contributing factor to weight gain and not being able to lose weight. It was ridiculous, the amount of wants that we had on here. So I'm trying to be more conscious of what we're spending money on. And eventually I want to get those wants down to maybe 3 or 4 for the entire month. And that's what we're doing, whether it's groceries, school supplies. My daughter needed some new shoes this month. So that's another thing. My kids are going through like a growth spurt. I don't know if they are synchronized to go through a growth spurt. 2 weeks ago, they could fit all of their shoes and all of their clothes. This week I went to put on shoes. They could not fit them. I went to put on clothes. It's like they were a size too small. And I'm like, I know I'm not going crazy. Like, what is going on? So I guess they are synchronized in a growth spurt. I don't know what's going on. But my youngest daughter, she could not fit any of her shoes. She could not fit any of her shoes anymore. And so I had to go out, which was perfect because it was tax-free weekend on, school supplies and clothes and shoes like that. So I got those shoes. Some nice little Nikes. They were on buy one, get one half off, and they are really, really cute. And they were tax-free on top of that. So, yeah, that's probably something I'm going to try to implement every year to try to do their shopping, the bulk of their shopping on that tax-free weekend. So, yeah, so anything that we use, my tripod that I just bought, my hair care items that we just bought, I'm putting it on this expense tracker. So at the end of the month, I can go back and I can say, well, man, I really did not need, to eat out 3 times. I really did not need to go and get that Wendy's. I didn't need, whatever it is. Go back and look and make sure that the majority of the things, at least 97% of the things that you put on this expense tracker, it is a need and not a want. When you have a goal, when you're trying to do, something positive and constructive that's going to benefit your family in the long run, it makes it easier. If you go in with the mentality of, I'm not just going to be working to pay bills, or I want to have fun. When you go in with that mentality, of course, nobody wants to work just to pay bills, but anybody can save. And I always felt like we could never do that because I'm like, we don't make a whole lot of money. We have all these expenses. We were just a single income household for the last 5.5 years. I've worked like off and on when I just feel like, I need an outlet, and then I'll eventually come back home. It wasn't a priority for me to work because my husband worked. My husband took care of the bills. But now it's a priority for me to at least work part-time because I know we have a goal that we are trying to reach. So that's what we're doing. And that's the system. Hopefully every month I can come back and let you know, well, we've saved another amount, or we've saved this, or this month something came up and we weren't able. I truly, honestly believe that there is a season for everything. In the Bible, in Ecclesiastes 3, I don't know the verses, but it talks about there being a season for everything. And I did not always live by that. You know, I want this, I want it now, I need it now, but life doesn't work like that. It's a season for you to go through everything that you go through. And gonna cry. It's so sad. But I'm learning to be content. I'm learning, you know, to let God lead me in the way that he wants me to go, in the direction that he wants my family to go. So that's it. This video was 25 minutes. And now I'm going to try to skim it down some so it doesn't go that long when I actually upload it. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope I gave you some insightful information, and stay tuned for another video, and please subscribe. Thanks.